everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. I hope this is finding you and yours doing well this weekend. My name is Angela Petrilli. I am here with my friends at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're gonna have a ton of fun today. I can't believe I haven't taught AC/DC yet, so we're gonna be learning it today. We're gonna be learning Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, such a fun song geared towards the beginners and the intermediates who are watching today. This is going to be a fun one. So have your electric guitar in standard tuning for this song today. And as always, you guys are enjoying the lessons. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help the cause. Click that like button and all of that good stuff. It truly does help. And if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, including the Fishman Fluence pickups that I have in my Strat, you can go ahead and click the link in the video description below. And while you are there, I started a Patreon page, folks. It's a ton of fun. Would love it if you join the team, so you can go ahead and click that link while you're there too. So before we get started, you guys know I like to ask a question, so please let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite AC/DC song. That's what I want to know. So where you're tuning in from, favorite AC/DC song. Really glad you're here today. This is going to be fun. So here we go. Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC. So there it is. We're gonna learn all of the rhythm parts today. So that's where we're putting our focus here, is on the awesome, awesome rhythm parts that both Angus and Malcolm are playing on this tune. So let's get started. So with the intro, we've got, again, some pretty basic, friendly beginner chords here. So we have an E major, okay? And how we're gonna play that, first three fingers. I want your first finger on the first fret of the G string, which is G sharp, second finger, second fret of the A string, which is B, and your third finger on the second fret of the D string, which is E. Now, we're not gonna strum everything. We're definitely gonna strum the E string, A string, and the D string, for sure. We wanna be very light with the G sharp though, because it's not a very prominent note in this voicing of the chord in this song. It's definitely there, but we wanna be a little ginger with it, all right? So definitely don't wanna strum the whole chord, but most of it. So just like that. And again, I've got a little bit of dirt on the amp that I am going through today, and I encourage you, when you guys get this song under your fingers, turn it up, lots of dirt, all of that good stuff, but wanted to be a little bit on the cleaner side so you guys can really hear what I'm doing. All right, so just wanted to mention that. So we've got our E major, and then we're gonna switch to a G chord. So with this G chord, we're gonna use all four fingers. So let me tell you how to do this. We're gonna get our first finger, second fret of the A string, which is B, third finger, which is over here, but not yet. Okay, second finger, third fret of the E string, which is G, that's our root. Third finger, okay, is playing the D note, third fret of the B string, and our fourth finger on the third fret of the high E string, which is G. So with this one, we're not gonna strum everything. You can if you want. I kind of strum through the B string, but if you want to strum the whole thing, it's fine. And then from there, we're going to go back to E. So the first part of the intro sounds like this. Okay, so just like that. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. My beginners who are watching, this is a great song to know to really work on your chord switching. So here we go. One more time. Now, the next chord is gonna be an A major. So how I like to play it with like the rock and roll style songs like this one, I'm only gonna use one finger. So I'm placing that first finger across the second fret of the D string, G string, and B string. Now, I'm going to strum the open A string as well. And again, our target centers for this A major chord, A, C sharp, and E, okay? So strumming from the A string. Again, only only strumming the A string, D string, and G string. Okay, so just like that. From there, I go to E. And from there, I'm gonna play this D over A. Now, I'm gonna call it a D5 over A just because I'm not playing the F sharp with my middle finger on the second fret of the E string. So here's how I want you to play this chord. First finger and third finger only, okay? First finger on the second fret of the G string, that's A. Third finger on the third fret of the B string, D. Now, what we're gonna do here, we're not just gonna strum from the D string, we're gonna include the A string too. Listening back, I feel like I hear that open A string, so just like that. And definitely make sure that that D note rings true in this chord. So that's what we're looking for. From there, we go to E. So the whole thing sounds like this. And I'm gonna play this slowly, and please follow along. Here we go. So this intro happens 4 times, okay? So we're just gonna repeat that whole thing 4 times. Rock and roll goodness, it's awesome. Now, we're gonna go ahead and play verse 1. Now, I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to do it. Listening back, it seems like Malcolm and Angus were doing 2 different things. So with Angus, and there is a ton of video where I can see this really, really well, so I'm very certain this is what's happening here, is there's gonna be a D5 to an E5 power chord. And those the verses are just those 2 chords, that's it. So this is Angus's part. We're gonna get our first finger to play this D5 chord. So first finger, 5th fret of the A string, D. Okay, we're gonna get our second finger, or third finger rather, 7th fret of the D string. That's gonna be our A note. And then our 4th finger, 7th fret of the G string, which is another D note. So it's our D5 power chord. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna do 2 downward strokes. After that second downstroke, we're gonna go ahead, slide this chord shape up to play an E5. So first finger should now be on the 7th fret of the A string, that's E. Third finger should be on the 9th fret of the D string, which is B. B as in boy, and then our pinky finger is playing another E note, E as in elephant, okay? At the 9th fret of the G string. So that whole thing sounds like this. So once you get to that E5, strum it one more time and let it ring. So this part here, okay, it's played 7 times. However, the first 4 times are a little bit slower. We're gonna let that sustain of that E chord ring through quite a bit. So it sounds like this. You've got the singer, right? He's doing his thing. Let that ring, do it again. So we really let this ring, and I encourage you, listen to the original track so you can really get a sense of the timing, okay? So if that is maybe a little above what you can do when you're playing right now, no problem. You can also play D and E up here. So that's an option too, okay? So I will leave that up to you. This one's very fun and very rock and roll. So that's a cool way to do it too. So either way, it's gonna sound great. Now, after the 4 times where we play this slowly, it's gonna start to get faster. So that's gonna sound like this. So leading into the chorus, that final slide into that E5, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And then there's a drum hit, okay? So you could kind of mimic that on guitar if you want, but if you're playing in a band, definitely let the drummer do that. It's a really cool spot for the drummer to shine. So make sure you make space for that. It's very important. Now, that's the verses, folks. Pretty cool stuff. So again, let's go ahead and look at the chorus. We're like breezing through this song. It is so much fun. So that's what's happening there. Let's look at the chorus. I'm going to play it through slowly. And again, if you guys are enjoying the lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help the cause. Click that like button. It helps with the algorithm and all of that good stuff. All right, so here we go. Here's the chorus, played a little slower. Here we go. Let it ring. Okay, so what's happening there? Chords that we already know, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and play them now. So we're gonna go to that A chord, we're gonna play the one fingered version of it. So we're gonna play it, let the chord sustain, hit it one more time. Now what's happening there? Okay, we're getting our second finger. That's why we're playing this version of the chord, so we have these other fingers that can do other stuff. So we're gonna do, leave that first finger to play that A chord. Get that second finger reaching up to the 3rd fret of the E string, that's our G note. Give it a little bit of a bend. Don't bend too much, we don't want this. That we don't want, okay? It feels like we're, you know, dizzy. That we don't want. Just a nice little tug on that E string. And then you're gonna go right back and play that A chord. So that sounds like this without the commentary. Notice, not bending it too much, okay? Just a little to get that pitch to move, okay? From there, we're gonna go to our E. Okay, so just like that, we strike it again. From there, we're gonna go to that D5. Okay, so think of it like a D chord without the F sharp. And then back to E. Okay, so just like that. I'm gonna play through the chorus again. Here we go. So for the final time of the chorus, we're gonna hang on the E chord, and it's gonna sound like this. So that dirty deeds and they're done dirt cheap. So that's sung over this E chord, okay? So let's go ahead and play through the intro, a verse, and a chorus, okay? So here we go from the intro, just a little bit slower. Two more times. Last time. To verse 1. Let it ring. So that happens 4 times. Okay, and again, listen to the song, get the sense of how long that goes, okay? And now we build them up faster. Into our chorus. Let that ring through. Pretty cool, right? It's a super fun one to play. I can't believe I haven't taught you guys how to play AC/DC yet. This is such a blast. So once we let that E chord ring, all right, we go into another verse and we go into another chorus. Then we have the guitar solo section. And again, on this lesson, we're focusing on the rhythm parts of this song. So let's go ahead and look at that. So here's what's happening in the rhythm part that's happening underneath Angus's guitar solo. So it sounds like this. So just like that, we have one bar chord, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So it's gonna be a B major. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna play it like this. So you could either play the B major, okay, and have the D sharp there, or you could play it as a B5. So I'll give you both options. Let's talk about D major first. So we're gonna get, or B major rather. B major, there is a D major, just we're gonna see later. First we're playing B major. First finger, okay, second fret, A string through the high E string. Okay, I don't want any crooked fingers here. Okay, keep it nice and straight. Use the fret as a guide. Just be sure to not be right on top of the fret. It's gonna sound a little buzzy. We don't want that, okay? And then we're gonna get our third finger here, okay? Stick with me here. You can do this. You can do this. Okay, third finger across fourth fret of the D string, G string, and B string. Are we playing 3 strings with 1 finger? Yes, but you can do this. Notice how my thumb, you can't see it. I am pressing through on the back of the neck. If the thumb goes up, see how the hand begins to shrivel. That we don't want. Keeping that thumb there is going to allow you to press through nicely. It's going to allow those fingers to stretch. Okay, very important thing. I like to mention it whenever I do bar chords, okay? So you guys can do this. Okay, so as far as the notes that we're looking for, okay, it's a B, okay, D sharp, F sharp, all right? So you can choose to play the D major, or if you want to play it as a B5, you can get away with that too. Okay, so more like a power chord, you would just lift the third finger to play the F sharp at the 4th fret of the D string, and then you would place your pinky on the 4th fret of the G string, which is another B note. I kind of like playing this one. It's nice and bright, and it's kind of nice when you're lifting up the guitar solo that's happening underneath it or above it, or however you want to look at it. It's kind of nice to create that little cushion there. All right, so we're gonna let this B chord ring, and then we're gonna go back to this A. We're gonna strum it 3 times, and the guitar face is you know, extra points if you do that. Okay, so we're gonna do this 3 times. B to A, B to A, B to A. We're gonna do that 3 times. So let's go ahead and play this. And again, my beginners, it's a great song for you guys to work on your switching. So here we go. B to A 3 times. Last time. Okay, so not too bad. If the B5 is a little easier, feel free to do that. That's okay too. All right, so we're gonna do that 3 times. B to A, B to A, B to A. The last time, we're gonna go B, let that ring, then we're gonna go to the D5 chord, and we're gonna play that 3 times. So, the D5, all right, we're gonna play it just like a D major, except we're gonna lift that middle finger, that F sharp, out of the way. We do not need it. We're gonna stop the strum at the B string. And we're gonna strum that 3 times. And then from there, we go into our intro section, okay? So I'm gonna play this nice and slowly. This is the rhythm part that's happening underneath the guitar solo. Nice and slowly, here we go, B major. Into verse 3. All right, so let's play that just a little bit faster one more time. Again, always good to work on those bar chords, and then from there, folks, we just have the outro that we have to deal with, which is very fun. Okay, so here we go, guitar solo section one more time. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. there, we go into our verse. So again, you could choose to do those bar chords or the open chord version. Totally up to you. And I want to mention, if you guys have a guitar playing buddy that you can play with, this is such a fantastic song to do, because one of you guys can do the bar chords and the other can play the open chords. It's kind of fun. So again, something that's always great to play music with other people. It's really great. So that's what's happening there. Let's go ahead and look at the outro. So this is after that third chorus. I'm a big fan of dynamics, and we see it here. So it's the same, it's a variation of the intro, just played a little bit quieter and then gets big at the end. So this is what I mean. So. So that's what's happening the first part of the outro. So all it is instead of us being really big with that E chord, G chord, E chord, A chord, E chord, I want you to be a little bit lighter handed with it. And what I mean by that, don't strum as hard, okay? Now when we go to the part done dirt cheap, okay, so E, D, E, now you can get nice and big. So you can choose to play it here, or either way will sound great. I'll give you the option, I'll have you choose. So I'll do the first version where I'm up here, just so you can hear it. And here it is with the power chords. So this happens 2 times, that whole section, okay? That's the first part of our outro. Now, what we're gonna do here is, on the second half, when I was listening back to the album version of this, sure sounds like we have genuinely major bar chords that are happening up the neck. So that sounds like this, and you could hear it at the very end of the song. So all we're doing there is, instead of playing the bar chord or the power chord, we're now including, right, that third in all of these chords, which is really, really nice. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So we're going to play an E major, okay? Play it in this way. Same way that we did the B major, okay, in the guitar solo section. We're going to do it here in the outro, all right? So lucky for us, in this outro, it's the same shape, we're just moving it around, okay? You can do this, you can do this. My beginners who are watching, I know a lot of you are scared of bar chords, but man, is this a great song to really get into them, all right? So you can do this. We've got E major, okay? First finger, 7th fret of the A string, that's our E note. Third finger, yes, is playing 9th fret of the D string, G string, and B string. So if we're keeping tabs, what are those notes? We've got the B note here, we have an E note here, and we have a G sharp here, 9th fret of the B string. And we're just going to strum that. And we want to make sure, really want to hear that G sharp. Now from there, we're going to play a G chord. So we're going to keep the shape as is. All right, this sort of on the fretboard is really helpful. So we know that this is E, and that's our root, so we need to find where G lives. So we go ahead and count. So we have E, F, G, 10th fret of the A string. So bring this whole shape up. Now we've gotten to the 10th fret of the A string. Okay, that's G. And then the rest of the chord follows suit here, right? So that third finger should be on the 12th fret of the D string, G string, and B string respectively. So we're talking about the notes G, B, and D. Those are our target centers for G major. Okay, so we're going to strum this one time and make sure. Get that B note in there. Back to E, E major. So let's do that again. Just like that. Now we're going to play A major. So we know, hey, wait a second. G was here at the 10th fret and the 12th fret of the neck, respectively. So G and A are a whole step apart, right? So we're going to go ahead and move that yet again. This is why we need an electric guitar for this song, okay? So first finger across, let me do that so it's a better angle for you guys at home, okay? First finger across the 12th fret of the A string through the high E string. Third finger, okay, 14th fret of the D string, G string, and B string. Target notes here, A, C sharp, E, 1, 3, 5. That's what builds an A major. We got them all here. So just like that, then back to E. So let's play that whole part. E, to G, back to E, A to E, and then done, dirt, cheap, E, D, E. Let's do that again without the commentary. And we do that twice. So those are all of the rhythm parts for this song. So we've got a couple minutes here. Let's run through. We'll abridge some of the parts, but let's go through all the parts again. So we have intro. One more time. We have our verses. And then we do the fast parts. Chorus. From there, verse 2, chorus 2, now guitar solo. From there, verse 3, chorus 3, and now our outro. Remember, dynamics. Nice and big. Now, last part of the outro. That's the tune, folks. It is such a fun song. Again, my beginners, I know there's a lot of bar chords here, but I know that you can do this. So I really, really encourage you, especially my beginners. And those of us who are intermediate and advanced, let's type in some words of encouragement to the beginners who are watching this, okay? Let them know that bar chords aren't horrible forever. They're actually really fun, all right? So you can do this. That's why I love doing these riff rundowns. Again, if you have just a passion on learning how to play guitar, I know that you can do it. So it's all good stuff. You can do this. And again, I want to thank you all for tuning in week after week. It is such a blast. I can't believe it's been almost 3 years since I've been doing these. So it is just such a joy. And thank you all so very much. It's just such a blast. And as always, I want to thank my friends at Fishman for helping me run these week after week. But certainly, I really want to thank all of you. Thanks for being so cool to one another and so kind in the comments. I see it and I appreciate it. So as always, folks, wishing you so much success in your musical journeys. Rock on, everybody. Have a lot of fun.